o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And once again, I want to thank you for coming on out, for getting access to this business growth mind map training overview. And yeah, I'm just so happy and excited to share this information with you. You know, I've got some wonderful content that I want to share with you. And this is all in regards to helping you be able to get some structure just within your business, okay? And for people that I've been talking to lately, they've been asking, you know, how I've been structuring my business. They've been seeing me put some things in place. And I thought I'll just share with you what I've been doing behind the scenes in my business. It's been able to help me really just get more exposure, really be able to generate leads, but most importantly, just being able to get, you know, sales and just new business and clients within my business. This can work across any medium that you're working with, okay? So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you here today. Before I get into that, I just want to give you a little brief about who I am and, you know, why you should listen to me and, you know, why I'm able to bring this value to you. So I'm going to go over to my site where you can kind of find out a little bit more about who I am on your own time, too, as well. And you can visit my site at ShawnDWallace.com. That's S-H-A-W-N, D as in dog, W-A-L-L-A-C-E.com. And here's where you can find out a little bit about myself and some of the people that I've also helped too as well. You can find out some testimonials and things of that nature. I don't want to talk too much about me because it's definitely not about me. It's about sharing this value with you. But I do want to give you a little bit about my backstory, just about how I've come to be able to share this value with you and, you know, why you should listen to me. And at the end of the call, I also want to go ahead and extend to you just an invitation for some personal coaching. It's actually going to be a free 30-minute session where I'll go more in depth on how you can actually implement some of the things I'm going to share with you here tonight. And it'll give us the opportunity to work more in depth together too as well as far as implementing some of these strategies with you. And we'll figure out, you know, what's a good fit for either myself and you to see if it's a good fit for us to work together to help you be able to scale out your business. So with that being said, like I say, my name is Shawn Wallace. I actually live here in Denver, Colorado, in the the northern part of Denver, right? The western part of the country. It's a beautiful state. Love the mountains. Well, I guess you could say I love the snow too as well at times, you know, until we get like 6 feet out here or whatnot. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a little bit about my backstory, how I've got here. I've been online since 2009. So it's going on a little bit of I don't know, what is that, 10, 11, 12, and then we got, I don't know, what is that, 6 years or so, right? And it's been a journey, you know. When I first came online, I have to be very transparent. It was definitely a learning curve, and I used to call it struggling, but I don't think it was struggling. I just want to say that this was a learning curve. That's it. I think with anything, you have to kind of like learn the basic principles, learn how to put the pieces of the puzzle together, which I'm going to be sharing with you here today. But it took me actually about 4 to 5 years to really understand it. One was because I couldn't afford a mentor, so I was looking to learn a lot of the things from, you know, the outside in, looking at other people's, you know, business models. I bought a lot of products, jumped from business to business, and it wasn't until I actually had a mentor that helped me put all the pieces of the puzzle together, which has helped me to be able to now help, you know, hundreds of people across the internet learn how to implement these strategies, which I'm going to share with you here today. And like I say, it wasn't until I understood how to put the puzzle, the pieces of the puzzle together, which I'm going to share with you. And if you've been online for a while, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You get online, and there's a lot of things as far as traffic methods. There's a lot of things as far as traffic methods and things of that nature, as far as just really on how to, you know, drive traffic. You might learn some things about social media. You might learn some stuff about traffic, and then it could take you all kind of angles. I started learning things about SEO, and then I got into like sales copy, and, you know, then learn how to put funnels together and blogging and things of that nature. So it was a lot of things that I had to really, like I say, put all the pieces of the puzzle together to really start learning on how this online marketing thing really worked, right? I ran across a lot of people are skeptical, definitely when it comes to making money online. I know I was, but like I say, I call it the school of hard knocks, right? It's kind of like you got to invest into yourself and into the knowledge. But I guess long story short is, after I got a mentor and I finally started to understand on how these components like mesh together, it started to make a lot more sense, you know. Along that journey, I've developed in personal development, so a lot of the mindset has came into it. And that's one of the reasons I just really love this industry, because you grow in so many areas, and not in just business. You know, you grow in personal development, mindset, You get to connect with people all across the world and things of that nature. So it's really been a fun experience. And it got to the point where, I had gathered so much information that I actually created my own business called IMS, which stands for Inexpensive Marketing Solutions, where I want to start sharing some of the things that I've learned with not only entrepreneurs, but just regular business owners too as well, because even the bigger brands didn't really even know how to transition, with leveraging the internet. A lot of your old traditional ways as far as, newspaper, radio, television, things of that nature, you probably already noticed is, I won't say obsolete, but it's not as effective as it used to be just because we've transitioned. And one of the things before I move forward, I want to let you know we're in the information age. There's been like 3 shifts that's happened. We were in the agricultural age, and that's where, the farmers used to make the food and things of that nature, their crops, and they would go back into the marketplace to sell their food, right? Then we had another shift when we went into the industrial age, which was more of the factory work, where if you worked harder, you sweat harder, you make more money. And that's kind of what our whole economy, even our educational system is built on, is that industrial age. But there's been another shift, my friend, and that shift is the information age. So what I want to share with you now is how you can capitalize on the information that you have that you could bring to the marketplace that has a value to someone else who is looking for that information that can help them, and how you can actually get paid for the information that you're sharing within the marketplace. And I want to be completely honest with you, it doesn't matter what that information is. It might sound weird, but there's people out there that want to learn things that are just, they're interested in, okay? So whatever your passions are, whatever your business is, whatever your service, products that you provide to the marketplace, if you have value in that niche, there is someone out there who is searching for that value too, and they're willing to exchange, money for that value. So it's pretty cool to be in the information age. And that's what I want to go ahead and share with you here today, is how you can bring your information to the marketplace. But not only that, but just structure it in a way where you can have fun with it, present it to the marketplace where someone will exchange money with you. I'm sure if you came here, like I say, the title of this was the Business Mind Map Overview. And I really don't have a lot of slides or nothing like that I'm going to get into. I'm going to be just right off the cuff, really, and just kind of talk to you just plainly, really. I only got 2 slides here because the main point I'm going to be sharing with you is going to be mind map that I'm going to break down. So what I wanted to share here, I don't know if I can pull this up. Looks like it doesn't want to go big for me, which is okay. But what I wanted to share with you is just the structure. So what we're going to be going over, like I say, is the business growth mind map training overview. But before I did that, I wanted to really give you an explanation of what a funnel looks like, okay? And let me see here. I wanted to make this bigger, but it doesn't look like it's going to go there. And if not, it's okay. You guys can probably see that. Let me make sure you can see this here. Okay, great. So this is basically just the flow of a marketing funnel. And I wanted to give this first, okay, so you can understand the flow on how you want to position your information, how you can build a relationship with the people that are going to be, looking for that information, and you can build that value and that trust with them. So that way they'll want to buy what it is that you have, okay? And once again, I don't care what it is that you have. If you feel that it's something that you have a value that's to the marketplace that can benefit someone else, that's going to give a solution to their problem, this is the model that you want to follow. So let me see if I can pull this up. I want to make sure you guys can see this here, and if not, I'll just go online and grab it. I don't know why this doesn't want to blow up a little bit bigger. And I don't know. Okay, so it's okay. But what I want to show you is at the top left here, you can see that it's marketing. Okay, so the main thing that we want to focus on, it's all about traffic. Okay, there's 3 things to a business that doesn't, I don't care what business that you're in, that matters. I like to call them the 3 C's. Okay, the first C is creating traffic, right? The second C is capturing leads, and the third C is converting those leads into sales. So just think of the 3 C's. It's creating traffic, capturing leads, and then converting those leads into sales. I don't care if you're selling toothpicks. That's all you got to do is you got to put your toothpicks in front of people who are looking for them, right? If you're a dog lover, you got to get your value in front of people who are looking for your dog value or your dog lover value, okay? So the first thing is focusing on traffic, and there's a lot of ways to generate traffic, and this is what I was talking about as far as the piece of the puzzle. Once I get into the mind map, this will make a little sense, but I just want to give you the breakdown of the format. So first is you must generate traffic, and we'll talk about ways on how to do that. There's typically 2 ways. Number 1 is free, and number 1 is paid, okay, and we'll get into that. But once you generate that traffic, you're sending that traffic to a lead capture page. And if you remember before you got on this webinar, that's what I sent you to, with a lead capture page where I was able to get your email, okay, where you're now on my list where I can communicate with you, okay. So after the person comes to your capture page, then you're on your email autoresponder. And that's just a way for you to now to start to communicate. This is where you start sharing your value through emails and building that relationship. I used to hear, and I thought this for a while, that the money's in the list. You might have heard this before if you're an entrepreneur, you're in business, or you're online. You hear this online a lot. But the money's in the list. The money's in the list. Well, that's true to some degree, right? Because the bigger your list is, the more opportunity that you have to not only control that traffic for where you want to send it, but communicate with them. But the money is actually in the relationship that you build with your list. So it's a huge difference, okay? So you just don't want to build a list and just be promoting to them. You want to actually be giving them value, because the money's in the value that you built with that list. So with that being said, that this is the transition. So we're at traffic, got them to a capture page. You're building your list through an autoresponder, and you're building that relationship with them. And once you do that, now you can send them. It's funny because the same mediums that you sent or used to generate traffic is actually the same mediums and platform that you send them back to also too as well to close them into a sale. So I just wanted to show you this breakdown. I may refer back to it here throughout the presentation, but I wanted to kind of give you a flow here, because as I get into the mind map, it kind of gets very open. And I just want to make sure that you kind of see the basics of what I'm going to be sharing with you, okay? Let me just kind of go to the mind map, pull it up for you here, and we'll hop right into it. Let's take a quick drink of water. So here's the mind map. And I like to call this your daily income producing formula, because that's all you need to really be focusing on. We like to call it the 80-20 rule. 20% of what you're doing is going to create 80% of your results, okay? Say that one more time, because it's super important, and I didn't really realize this in my business, because you think that you have to do so much, right, in your business. There's so much to do, which is true, right? But really 20% of what you're doing is creating 80% of your result. So if you could just figure out what that is in your business and just focus on that 20% of the things that are income producing activities, the other 80% of the things you could outsource or pay someone else to do it. They need to be done. Don't get me wrong. They definitely need to be done, but they're not income producing, okay? And maybe I'll bring up some points on that. And, you know, like I said, there's different people in the call right now. I don't know what your business is. So I kind of want to keep this broad and a little bit generic as far as giving you the concepts on this. Let me see what we got here. Something popped up. No, I don't need that. Okay. So what I want to do is just start off on the top here, all right? And these components are pretty simple. They're pretty straightforward. Like I said, this mind map is going to open up to a lot, but it's really, I guess, just straightforward. And the reason I wanted to break this down, because I deal with a lot of people in their business, and sometimes they're focusing in the wrong area, or they might not have, or they're not focusing in the right areas first. And I'll give you an example before I get into this on why this first part is so important, which is knowing your target market, okay? And I have a lot of people who get into business, but they really don't know who they're talking to. I've even dealt with this before, you know, just throwing your message out there, because your message isn't for everybody, okay? So you need to know exactly who you need to be talking to with your message. So before you get into the greatest tricks or marketing strategies to generate traffic and leads, which everybody wants to know, I dealt with that. Oh, give me the best traffic strategy. What's the best way for me to generate leads? That's cool, but if you're not talking to the right audience, none of that will matter, and this won't work if you're not putting your message in front of the right person, okay? If you opted in on the list, you've probably seen a little bit of an overview what I'm going to share with you here today, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth and just kind of like really break it down a little bit more in depth in these components. So let's just hop right into it. The first thing you need to know is your personal avatar, okay? And what a personal avatar is, it's a prime example of your customer. So the best way to think of that is just think of your average customer. So take your just your average customer, okay? And you want to look at them as a whole and see what are the attributes, what are the things that your average customer is dealing with, okay? So when I came online, I was in the make money niche. I'm still in the make money niche because I like to make money, right? But the main thing that I really figured out is that it had to be off of making money. I had to talk to a certain person that was looking for what I had to offer for me to be able to make that money. So when I first came online, and your avatar is they're actually I want to say they are real, but you can make them up. They can be fictitious. Just know who you're speaking to so they fit in that demographic, okay? So I'm just going to go over Sally. I made up Sally. Sally's not a real person. But this to kind of give you an idea, and you want to come up with a personal avatar for your business, okay, who's looking for your product or your service, okay? And this right here is just going to be, like I say, it's a fictitious person, but it's kind of a real person. What you'll find out is that when you make this up and you kind of put this person in your head, you will actually literally start to attract that person into your business, okay? And like I say, what you want to do is just think of your average customer, all right, on what they're looking like, or you know, what their primary focus is, okay? So that's what you want to look at. So let's just look at Sally, who I made up. Sally is a 30-year-old mom. She's of two. She has a mid-range salary of $30,000 a year. She usually spends her time shopping with girlfriends, talking to people on Facebook, and looking for new ways to make money, okay? And with 2 kids and only $30,000 a year, Sally struggles to pay her bills, and after 2 years of on the internet, she searched for a way to make money. She stumbled across multiple $25 to $500 entry programs on how to make money online, but every time her sponsor would leave her hanging in the wind after signing up, right? So once again, tailor this to your customer. Like I said, I'm just using this as an example because I came on in the make money niche, okay? So, but tailor this to your clients too as well, okay? So whatever that is, like if you know the demographic of who you're typically dealing with, whether it's female, if you know the age group that they're in, if you know their income bracket, you know their educational background, the things they like to buy, where they're hanging out. These are things that you kind of want to tailor something around your particular client, all right? And then down here at the bottom, you can see where I just said I inserted some hot buttons. So this is what Sally's looking for, okay? So after she found a mentor to show her how to market her business, she also shows her an action plan on how to generate 15 to 20 plus leads every day, and finally have a system where she could join a team that is helping her talk to her friends and family. You know, now the end result, now Sally's able to make an extra $1,000 a month. Like that's what Sally's looking for. So when you have that in your mind, you actually have your avatar. This is so important because everything I'm going to share with you from moving forward, you're always talking to that individual in your marketing, whether it's in an email, whether it's in a video, whether it's in a blog post, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. It doesn't matter. You're just talking to that person. So that way anyone else who reads your message, if that's not talking to them, they'll just, you know, we like to call it repel and attract. You just will repel the people that doesn't talk to, and you're going to attract the person that does. Now, hopefully that makes sense to you as far as having an avatar in place, okay? So let's go to the next piece of this. I got Frank versus Matt down here, and that's just kind of just breaking down the mindset of the two, okay? I won't get really into that because that, like I said, that was just more of an affiliate piece on how one person took one journey and one person took another journey. They're in the same niche and how they actually had 2 different results, okay? But what that's really talking about is just really understanding on, like I'm sharing with you here right now, how Frank actually, when he ran into a problem, just kind of give you an idea, when he ran into a problem, he found a solution, versus with Matt, when he ran into a problem, he wouldn't look for another opportunity or another quick get rich or another super quick fix, right? Where Frank actually tackled the problem and kept it moving. So that's the difference between Frank and Matt. Now, the next important piece is your USP, which is your unique selling proposition. And what this is, you might have heard it before, it's like having an elevator pitch. You want to be able to tell somebody what you do within 30 seconds or less to pique enough interest in their mind to be like, that's something I want to find out more interest or have more interest in, or like, can you tell me more about that, okay? So it's being able to tell a person what you do within 30 seconds or less where they have more of an interest. All businesses have these. I'll try to give you a few examples. Let me think of, like, I think it was Pizza Hut, I think, where we'll deliver your pizza within 30 minutes or less, or it's free. That's a unique selling proposition that was different from Domino's or Papa John's, or, you know, I don't know where you might be in the country, but that was their unique selling proposition. So just think of brands that have those You typically hear them all the time in these commercials, because think about it, the commercials are typically only 30 seconds long, and wherever that pitch is that they're sending out to you is what makes them stand apart from the other people in that competition, okay? So I'm going to give you an example of how you can come up with one, and this is one that I created for myself a while back. And if I help people learn how to make $500 a day online with proven marketing methods, even if they never made any money online before. Now, once again, this is not a recruiting call or anything like that. I started in the make money online niche, so it's like these are the ones that I know the most. You know, even though I've kind of transitioned and revamped my brand as far as in coaching, and I wanted to share with you some things on how they would get here and be able to share this also with other business owners. So that's just the one I came up with. Let me give you an example on how you can come up with one on your own, okay? So the main thing is you just want to ask yourself some of these questions, okay? And so that way you can communicate your business or product more effectively to your customers within 30 seconds or less. And this is not to sell them, it's just to pique their interest, okay, on more on what it is that you're doing. So just ask yourself, you know, what am I offering, right? What is it that you're offering? What problems does my idea or offering solve, all right? What is it worth for trying or buying? Who is my target audience? What is my credentials? You know, what are my competitors and how am I different from them? Okay, very, very huge there. Now, what resistance or objections will people have to this? What's my purpose for my pitch? When, where, and how do I want people to take action? Just ask yourself some of these questions, right? And then fill in the blanks. So this is a key piece here, is just fill in some of these blanks here. And here's an exercise that will help you find out what's the most beneficial to your client. So the first one is I can help or teach a specific problem to my market. So you can help them learn what, right? Or you could teach the person that you're wanting to, you know, get your stuff. You can teach them what, okay? So just fill that blank in. And then when I teach them, it's going to get them or help them with what specific high-value benefit. So, like, what problem are they having that when you tell them what you teach, that it's going to help them with, okay? And the last thing you want to fill in the blank is even if. So, like, the worst-case scenario, that you can help them even if what. So here's an example down here. It's a little bit outside the make money niche. Try to throw in here that'll help you understand what I'm saying. Is I can help chiropractors get more customers for Yelp even if they have a 1-star rating. See what I mean? So I can help chiropractors get more customers from Yelp, even if they have a 1-star rating. So just answer some of those questions and look at it in your niche. So for instance, let's just use the dog niche, very popular. I can help your dog be trained, you know, within 30 days, even if he's never been trained before. Just to give you an example, that's just something off the top of my head, right? So just fill in these blanks on how you can come up with your unique selling proposition. These things are so important because none of the marketing really matters until you know, first of all, who you're talking to and what makes you stand out from your competition. So that way now you can go ahead and create your social brand. Now this right here, my friend, is something that I've really had my eyes open to here within lately because I've always been into systems. As you can see here as I go through this mind map, I've really been into system creations and just I've always liked to leverage my time. You know, I've always been a techie kind of guy. So honestly, I didn't really even understand social brand. So that site I just showed you, I just now revamped my brand because of what we're sharing here with you here today. I wanted to talk to a specific audience with a specific message, and you need to have your brand associated with that because now when you understand this, now you're going to bring that to the marketplace. And these are just some brands that I actually created. I actually need to add one here, but like this mind map here I made a little bit a while ago. But you can create your social brands, okay? Just to give you an idea, if we were on, well, if you see me on Facebook, I'll just come over here, show you a couple of brands. I'll just show you this one here, but it'll just kind of give you an idea what I'm saying to you because this opened up my eyes too as well as far as how you present yourself. No matter if you know that you're presenting yourself, or you don't believe that you're presenting yourself, you still have a brand out there. So as you can see, it's just like, this is just my brand. It's me now. It's not a business opportunity. I'm the brand, right? So if you have a product or service, you want to make sure you're putting your logo out there, and now you're creating your social brand so people can remember that. It sticks in their mind. If I asked you McDonald's, I'm sure the first thing that popped in your head was the arch. You know what I mean? If I said Dairy Queen, I'm sure the first thing that pops in your mind, right, is I was thinking of the lady, but just a Dairy Queen sign. If I say Wendy's, I'm sure the first thing that pops in your mind is Wendy's. It's because that brand has been programmed into your mind so much. So the first thing you want to do after you understand who you're targeting is create your social brand, so people, when they see it, they can recognize it immediately within the marketplace. Okay, so that's pretty much the first steps, which is pretty powerful. And as you can see here, that had nothing to do with generating leads, any kind of marketing strategy, or anything at all. And this is what I find that needs to be the most important, is that right there. Is just understanding who you're talking to. Okay, so important who you're talking to, because I see a lot of people who are struggling with getting leads and things of that nature. It's because you're talking to everybody, right? Your product and service is not for everybody. Okay, it's only for a specific certain individual who's looking for what it is that you want to, what you're offering. So I want to make that very, very clear. The first part is getting that part down. Okay, I don't care if you're in the make money niche, if you're going to start your own business opportunity, or if you already have a product or service. Understand and just really understand what I'm saying. Your product is just not for everyone, so you really want to narrow that down. Okay, so once you know your target market, now we can get into a little bit of sharing and engaging with that target market on a daily basis. And the main thing, all it is just sharing your content and connecting with them, and doing it on a daily basis, right? I spelled that wrong, but it's all right, right? Share your content and engage daily. So I'm going to share with you some ways on how to do that. So I like to call these your daily IPAs, income-producing activities, and you only have a couple of routes to go. Okay, you got free and you got paid. So I'm going to touch on a couple of free ones that I like. And if you have a marketing budget, I would highly recommend that you go paid, because it leverages your time. You can get results actually a little bit quicker because you're paying for the traffic. Okay, with the free traffic, it takes a little bit of time to get going. It does work, but it's just not something that you're going to see take effect immediately, because it's something that you have some consistency behind. So let me go ahead and share with you some of the free traffic methods that I personally use. There's a lot more we can implement. And once again, like I said, at the end of this call, I'm going to extend a coaching offer to you where we can kind of go over and tailor some traffic or free traffic methods that will work best for you, along with some paid methods. Just depending on what it is that you're bringing to the marketplace. So let me just share with you some things that I do. I cut videos daily. And the reason I like cutting videos is pretty much because you can leverage that content and repurpose it multiple times. Okay, and I'll go over that with you here in a little bit. But I cut videos daily, and you know, what do I talk about? It's probably talking to the avatar. So many things I'm going to be pointing out to you here really quick. So I cut videos daily, and I post the video along with a paragraph or two on one of my blogs, okay? And then what I do is I email my list twice a day. And most people say, well, what? This is a funny conversation, but you want to email your list twice a day. The reason I say that is because it creates that engagement and starts giving value. A lot of people say that's too much emailing. Well, really, it's not. And I like to be up front. Hey, if a person doesn't want to receive my email, they can always, you know, get off the list, right? But also, if a person is not opening, you have to kind of get that. You want to get that, like I say, that brand in front of them, and you want to be talking to them to engaging. So one email to me is it's just not enough, right? You need to be emailing them at least twice a day. And what do you do? What do you talk to in your emails? Well, the main key component of what you're talking about is you want to talk to your customer avatar. It's pretty much what it is. You just want to be talking to your customer avatar. For me, I was talking to them about the business opportunities that I was in. And, you know, with you, you want to be talking to them whatever your product or service that you're in or that you have to offer. And you want to be talking specifically to your avatar, right? In my case, that was Sally, okay? You want to connect with about 5 people a day. How do you connect with them? Well, you can do that through chatting on the internet. And you're not trying to recruit them or to sell them what it is that you have. You just want to connect, build relationships so people can see that you're consistent and that you're there to actually help them and build relationship with them. And the reason I say 5 a day because it's not hard to reach out to 5 people. I like leveraging Facebook and using that type of chat just to engage with my audience. You know, I'm looking for that avatar, so I'm just connecting with people, letting them know what it is that I do, and I'm just building those relationships with them, okay? As you start to do that, you know, people start to follow you and things of that nature, and as they're following you, all you do is share that content on Facebook and other social networks. That's it. Just share the content, not what you're selling. Just share some valuable content. You can post it on your wall. You do Facebook invites. You can use that on YouTube, right? And one of the reasons I love YouTube for business owners is because if you think about television, you know, your typical business owner can't afford commercials or can't afford, you know, that type of broadcasting because it's pretty expensive, you know. So with YouTube, right, number one is, like I said, that shift does happen again where a lot of people are going online searching for information, but it's like a commercial that is free, right? And it works for you 24 hours, 7 days a week, not just from a 30-second pitch in between a segment. That's why YouTube is so powerful for business owners, because you have a video that's working for you 24/7. That's why I like to cut videos. And when you're talking to your avatar, it's actually building that relationship for you on autopilot, which is super powerful when you think about it, right? Because they're looking at you during video. The other reason I like it is because I've been in sales for a while, and a lot of people that I talk to don't like sales. And I can understand it because, you know, you don't want to be pushy and, you know, dealing with rejection and things of that nature. Well, how cool is it for you to be able to talk about your product or service, what it is that you bring to the marketplace, and be able to put that video online, and now the person doesn't want it, they're just hitting the X button, and you never had to deal with any rejection, right? That's what I love about cutting videos. I mean, you don't have to be a salesperson to be able to benefit from what I'm sharing with you here right now and being able to sell your product or service. So that's another reason I love YouTube. And like I said, it's a commercial that's playing for you. That's what I like to call it. Commercial that's playing for you 24/7, 7 days a week. Okay. FB ad posts are just a way for you to automate this process. Okay. Some of these things I have on here are actually tools that you can actually use to automate that process. Okay. Kind of goes back to that 80-20 rule we were talking about. Let's touch base on some paid marketing. Paid marketing is pretty much the same. I don't care what platform you're on. It's just kind of getting used to that platform and how it works. What your typical paid marketing is going to be PPC, which stands for pay-per-click, where you're paying per click to send traffic to an offer. Okay, won't get into a lot of detail right now on how that needs to be set up, but you want to be sending that traffic to your capture page, like we were talking about in that funnel. That way you're just building that list, and if you can kind of get this method down right here, it works phenomenally well because you're paying for people to get on your list, and if your offer and your communication and stuff is right with them, it starts to automate that front part of your stuff, which is as far as traffic is concerned, okay? But one of the main ones I like is Facebook. I like Facebook, and YouTube is actually pretty cool. My primary one that I play around with is Facebook, and I've also done solo ads. If you don't know what a solo ad is, this is pretty cool. There's different niches out there. I mean, just to keep it basic, what it is there's people out there that already have built a list, okay, in your niche, right? And they've already built that relationship with them and everything. So think of what is like a referral or like word of mouth. What you're doing with a solo ad is you're going to someone who's already built a decent-sized list, and you're paying them to send your offer to their list. It's pretty sweet. I love it because that person is actually recommending you to their list. So they already have that established relationship, and they're just recommending your stuff to their list. So the people are really apt to like opting into your list and wanting your information because someone else recommended it. And that's a pretty cool way to start building your list because, like I say, it's someone else's established list that's already been put in place, and they're basically just putting your offer right in front of them. So my two favorite ways have been solo ads and Facebook PPC. And one of the reasons I love Facebook, if you don't know, it's very, very targeted. You can get very targeted with your Facebook pay-per-click campaigns. Won't get into that a lot right now, but they let you really narrow it down to age, demographic, interests, right? City, state, zip code. I mean, it gets very, very, very specific, and that's really cool for a marketer when you can do something like that. Is get really specific. And like I say, once you know your avatar and who you're talking to, you can really get in Facebook and do some, I want to say damage, you know, but you can really do some really awesome things with Facebook marketing. Okay, so those are your two ways of driving traffic and your daily income producing activities that you want to be focusing on. One of the ones that I like to do mainly, like I say, is blogging daily. The reason I like to say using a blog, what I just shared with you earlier, is my blog. Okay, and one of the main reasons that you want to have a blog is, and not a website. Okay, just so you understand the difference. I'll pull it up just so maybe some of you might not know the difference. Okay, so as you can see, here's my about page, and typically your websites are going to have five tabs, right? And they're static, meaning like this page here will never change. I mean, I could change it, but typically the information on this page is static. It's never going to change, okay? The things on my home page is typically never going to change, right? Things on these tabs stay the same. So the difference with a blog is just that it's just like an online journal. So as you can see here, I've been doing some posts and things of that nature. And now this is a way for you to be able to continuously give value. I like to call this the money site, okay? And the reason you want to blog is because people can comment. And in today's age, it's a two-way conversation. It's no longer just a one-way conversation anymore, meaning that you're just sending out your message and people can't reply. That's no longer what's happening with social media. Is people are commenting and engaging about your content, whether you're there or not. So you want to have some control over that. And I like to call this just the money site because you can direct, you can put your different offers and what it is that you're offering. You can communicate in your videos all here. And the reason you want to do this is, for instance, like I say, is like Facebook. Let's just use Facebook as an example. Right? When you put your content on Facebook, it's a social gathering network, and it's one big old party, right? If you're like me, I have to like watch myself on Facebook because I get so distracted at times. I mean, I hope it's not just me, right? I'm pretty sure you might understand what I'm saying. You can get so lost in that Facebook socializing, getting just getting caught up in all the content and stuff that's going on, right? Well, think of it as like a party. If you was to go to someone else's house and it was a party, whatever your product or service is, you wouldn't go to that party and just start pitching everybody and just talking about. The typical thing is, you might introduce and say what it is that you're doing, but you wouldn't want to just blab that out to everybody. That's typically going to happen on a one-on-one, two-way conversation, right? So what you want to be able to do, the reason you want to blog, and this is why it's so important, is you want to be able to take people from that big old audience and bring them to your own house. And that's what your blog is, okay? It's your own house online, right? It's your own. It's pretty much the best way to put it, where you're able to invite someone to your house, sit down for a cup of tea, and talk about what it is you want to talk about and have a two-way conversation. So that's one of the reasons that you definitely want to have a blog. So the reason I say that is I like to do a couple of blog posts, okay, and understand who you want to blog to. Well, I want to ask you a question. Who are we blogging to? Our avatar, right? You want to be talking to that avatar again. And here's some questions that you just want to ask yourself when you're blogging. Okay, because there are some different, but it kind of relates still back to the avatar, but just ask yourself these questions. Like, what is your customer's biggest desire? Like, what is it that they want? I like to call it fill in the gap, okay? There's a gap, like what a person wants, okay? So let's look at it. In my left hand, I have this issue, and in my right hand is the solution. And if I spread the two, there's this gap. Like, how do I get from my problem to my solution? That's what you want to be asking yourself is, what is your customer's biggest desire? Next, you want to ask yourself, what is their biggest problem that they're dealing with, right? And that's the gap. So once you understand those two, now you ask yourself, how can you help them get from that problem to the solution, and that's filling the gap. And that's, my friend, what you blog about, right? You talk about the problem, or you talk about what it is that you might have been dealing with. You talk about how that, how that feels. You can relate to them and things of that nature. And you start talking about, I like to call it a prescription. You start throwing some ideas out there, or maybe talk about your journey that you've been through, or whatever it is that you have in your business, that can help them. And then you give that solution to the problem. And that's what you blog about, right? And you can do that just by answering those 3 questions every time you blog. And now what's cool is, like, now you have this online journal that when people come into your own house online, you're relating to them. And what's so cool is if you're talking strictly to your avatar, they feel like you're in their mind. It's pretty cool because you're talking directly to them. Okay, so these are things that you want to blog about. I like to do motivational posts, inspire and motivate, things of that nature. And then how can I help my avatar with my business opportunity, or with my coaching, or with my services? So those are the things that you just need to blog about. Okay, very simple. It doesn't have to be a long essay or things of that nature. I think your average blog post typically needs to be about, let's just say, 300 to 400 words. And once you get into the groove, that can be around, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe four paragraphs. Okay, it doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out essay. For me, I mean, I'll be quite honest with you, even though I know you need to blog, I'm not a big blogger, so I'd rather cut a video, right? Cut a video or something like that, get on camera, do a PowerPoint or something like that, and just write a couple of paragraphs about it because I don't like writing. I'm not a writer, you know, but I do blog. You know, I'm just kind of being transparent with you that I personally like to cut videos. So if you're thinking like, Shawn, I'm not a big writer, hey, just do a PowerPoint, do an audio. I mean, you know, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out essay, but just bring some value and deliver that in a manner that you feel comfortable with. There's tons of ways you can do that: videos, audios, just little articles. You know, grab someone else's blog post and refer back to it, and maybe do a snippet about like what they talked about. That's a good way. There's always make sure you link back to the original source. That's very important online. But there's nothing wrong with doing that either. Like, that's kind of the way that I got started initially. Just making sure you link back to the resource, because they love that you're sharing their content, and then just kind of give you a snippet or a little piece of what you thought was valuable about what, you know, what you read. So that's the way to actually create blog posts too. Okay. Down here with Fiverr, like I say, I have some things in here that's related to that 2080 rule I spoke about. And Fiverr is just a place where you can syndicate your blog posts. Okay. Once again, we talked about traffic. And what you want to do is you want to get traffic to your blog post. So this is just some mediums out here that I have that you can actually create backlinks, and this helps get more traffic to your blog. I'll share some of these with you. Like I say, probably more in the coaching section I don't like to get into right now, but just know that these are areas where you can get people to send backlinks to your blog content, which will help it rank in Google, which will get you the free traffic to your blog. Okay. These are some other syndication tools that I have, or that I know about, that you can actually use that does the same thing that's out there as far as Pingler. There's Twitter, SocialMonkey, TriPro. There's other tools out there that you can use to help get exposure to your blog. Okay, so that's what these last two pieces are. Won't get into a lot of depth on that, but just know there's some tools out there to help you get more exposure to your blog. Okay, daily marketing plan. I actually already went over that, because you will see that kind of falls into a couple of categories. So hopefully you're with me here. We're almost done. But I just want to say this before I get down to the last piece. As you can see here, it looks like a lot, and it's really not. It's just kind of wanted to give you a bigger perspective on why you maybe are not getting results in your business, because you're not doing these things in your business, right? You might just be focused on one area, which you're focusing in. They're just not all income-producing activities. So I wanted to break this down so you can understand more of what your IPAs are, okay? So let me go to the next part here. Let me close some of this up here. Okay, so after you share your content and you engage daily, now you want to do is connect with your audience through video. And I've already shared with you some of the reasons why video is so important to share, to contact with your audience, okay? But I'll say it again. One way that you can do it, like you don't know how to create or what to talk about, create yourself like a 30-day video challenge. And the way I like to do this is really think of the most, what do they call it, Q&A, the most frequently asked questions that someone would have about your product or service. This is a great way for you to build value and blog posts. When I was telling you earlier that you can use videos to repurpose them, well, here's a great example, okay? Is you can cut videos on your most frequently asked questions about your product or service, right? So if you, let's just take 10, for example. Come up with the 10 most frequently asked questions and just answer them, right? Hey, you know, most people want to learn on how does my dog do this trick, or what the case may be. Like I said, I'm still in the make money niche online, so a lot of stuff has to do with like the skepticism, knowing that you're working with the right person, you know, what's the product about, things of that nature. So just cut videos on this, post those out there. Now you got 10 videos, like I said, working for you 24/7, 7 days a week. But what that's doing is a person in their mind, they're already thinking, what's in it for me? Okay, I want you to also tune that in. People are tuned in to one station, like even for now. The only reason you're on this webinar is because you're thinking, what is in it for me, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. So you want to also, now that you know that, apply that in your content. Talk to what's in it for your client, okay? And then when you do that, you're answering their questions that they already have in their head, okay? What that's doing is it's building value to your client already. They're like, oh my goodness, this person's already answering my questions. Man, that's cool. Like, they must really care. You know. And then the other one we like to say is questions that they should have asked. So that's how you get to like 10. So then write down 10 questions that they should have asked. Okay. And what I mean by that, these are questions that you know that are important that a person should ask, but they didn't. And now you're giving them value for something that they might have had in the back of their head, or they might have been like, man, I didn't even think about that. I'm so glad he shared that with me. Now, once again, what happened there is you built value with them before you even got into contact with them, okay? I'm giving you these examples because this is how you're able to exchange money for information, okay? You have to give before you receive. It took me a minute personally. Okay, like I said, I came online and wanted to make money. I have no quarrels about that. I don't mind telling you that because I'm here to support my family. I'm sure you want to be doing the same thing in your business, right? But I had to realize that I had to give first before I receive, you know? You can't just take. So one of the things that we like to say is value, pitch, okay? Value, pitch. So when you do pitch, they don't feel like they're being sold because you gave them so much value first that they want to buy, right? One of the key things we always say, too, as well, is give away your best stuff up front for free, like your very, very best stuff. And that may sound weird, but what's cool is like when you gave them your very best stuff for free, when you make an offer, they're like, man, if he gave me that for free, I only can imagine what it's like if I paid for this, right? And then what they're paying for is basically just the other 10 tips, right, of value that you would have shared with them anyway. So these are what's so cool about cutting videos, okay? And when you cut videos, you can share those, like I say, on YouTube, Facebook, Google Hangouts, and Traffic Geyser, once again, is another tool for you to share your information online. So let me give you an idea before I move on to the next step on what I said, the 80-20 rule. So once you cut it cutting the video is the income-producing activity, right? Cutting the value, right? But loading it to YouTube or loading it to Facebook, that's not the income-producing activity. I hope that makes sense. Now, it has to be done, but that's not income-producing. I know that may sound weird, but it's true. The income-producing part is creating the content. Distributing it is where you can outsource that part. You see what I mean? Because the content's created. So, like, if you can get someone else to upload it for you or get a tool that'll distribute it along all these different areas, that's saving you time where you can focus on creating more content. I hope that makes sense. So that's what Traffic Geyser is. It just distributes your videos across different video sharing networks, right, all at one time. So how cool would it be to create one video but use a tool to distribute it across 20 different networks? You see what I mean? Versus taking that one video and you personally taking 2 to 3 hours to upload it yourself to 20 different networks. So that's what I meant when I said the 80-20 rule. Just focus. You got to find that area in your business where the 80-20 rule it makes sense. So the next thing is just connecting with your audience through video. Okay, very important, just because that's just the time that we're in. That's my favorite way to connect anyway. Increasing your engagement through the help of a tribe. And this is pretty straightforward. This is like a community of people, like-minded people. Typically, like I said, that's what they call it, actually, tribe. You can Google that. Just Google engagement tribe, or that's really it, just tribe. That's really the name of it. And what that is a community of people who like to share each other's content. Because, like I said, it's building backlinks and things of that nature. And there's areas out there where you can do that. It just helps syndicate your content. The same people in that tribe will share and comment on your posts and things of that nature, or you can share it with your team if you have a team of people. And what that does is just it just shows engagement on your content, and that really helps for you to get exposure. Okay, so that's the next thing, which is pretty straightforward. You can find different tribes out there, but you need to find out which one is in your niche. You can find them on different marketing forums, things of that nature. Facebook is a good one for our different groups. There's different tribes out there all over the place. LinkedIn has them. All your social networks have different groups and stuff like that. And then, like I say, you just Google, because every niche is a little bit different. But you want to just find, like I say, a community of people who's willing to share your content. And it's a reciprocal type thing. So you're going to need to share their content as well, right? And that goes back to what I was saying before is if they have good content, now you got something that you can put on your blog, right? And that's a good way for you to be able to share other people's content as well as sharing yours, which is helping you get exposure, okay? Hopefully this is making sense. This is the process to being able to get money out of folks. All the money that you need for your business or service is in somebody else's pocket. So to get it out of their pocket, you have to give them some type of value, okay? So the next thing is creating a social capture page of some sort. I've created tons of these, just in different niches and things of that nature that I've created over the time. And like once again, like I said, you came to my capture page before you got here. And once again, the capture page is just for you to be able to create a list. That's all it is, you know, for you to get an email, and you're exchanging they're giving you their email for an exchange of value. So when you came here, the reason you opted in is because you wanted to learn about this business mind map, right? So now I'm exchanging my value for your email, right? And I want to build that relationship with you from sharing this value with you, right? Because you gave me your email, because I want to build a relationship with you. So everything I'm sharing with you, I want you to notice, like in this process, I'm doing it to you too as well, right? Because it's the process, it's the way that it works. So you need to have create a capture page. And like I said, I won't get into a lot of places on how you do this stuff, like the techie aspect of it. I just want to kind of get into helping you put the pieces of the puzzle together. That's what I was saying before in my journey. I was trying to learn all this, you know, like all of this stuff, and it was overwhelming, as you can see, if you only learn one piece of this at one time. So that's why I wanted to kind of give you that way you can have a blueprint and understand more of what pieces or where you're at in your business and what components are missing or what components you need to add, or you know, or just you might have them all, but you're not, you know, communicating correctly. Like I don't know exactly where you are in your business, but I just wanted to give you this mind map so that way you can have an understanding. Like these are the things that need to be in place. So creating a capture page is very, very important. And just kind of give you the biggest reason why. Like I said, the money's in the list, but the money's in your relationship with your list. That you know, if you're not communicating with them and you don't have a database to be able to put your offer in front of, you just don't have a business. You know, without any leads, you don't have a business. So this is a big component that I noticed a lot of people are missing in their business because they're not building that database and that community of people who are following them in one central spot. So it's very crucial that you start building your list. That's the biggest asset in your business. I'll tell you why. You could take my blog, you could take all of my products, you could take my computer, right? My server could crash, you know, my whole computer could die, but if you left me with a list, I'm still in business. I can get online and shoot an offer to my list and make money pretty much, you know, from a push of a button. You know, you kind of hear that. I know it kind of sounds, what do you call it, skeptical, but it's true. You know, it's very, very true. Just think about it. If you have a list, you don't need any computer. You just need to be able to have access to get online to shoot them an offer, and you can make money. So your biggest thing you need to be focusing on is building your list, okay? So let's get down to the bottom. We're almost done here. So after you create your list, the next component is inviting your audience to your page to grow your social list, right? And what I mean by that is like you want to grow like your fan page, things of that nature. You kind of want to also have that social community too. So you can either have like a Facebook group or a Facebook business page, things of that nature, and you want to connect with them again through video, okay? And that's pretty cool. So like I said, you want to have your social list that you're building too as well. So if you have a fan page or a group on Facebook, that's still considered a list, okay? It's not maybe not on the autoresponder, but it's your own audience, okay? So once again, these things are still the same. You want to market to them, or you want to build that social list, either paid or free, okay, and connect with them through videos. That process is still the same, but your focus now is just building your list and doing that through giving value in the marketplace, okay? So the last couple, too, is where we get into the meat of the potatoes and how you're able to get money from this list following this model. I'm pretty sure that's what you came for, to how to grow your business, right, the growth part. Well, you want to connect and engage with your social list, right? So how do you do that? Once again, look and see what area have I done this with you so far. You want to tell your personal story, right? A good friend explained it to me. It's actually like your backstory, right? But you want to just tell your story and just be transparent. Like I told you before, I struggled for 5 years online, you know, trying to figure all this stuff out. I mean, that's a typical journey for someone who comes online. In your business, you might have went through some trial and error, some bumpy roads too, as well. I mean, share that with other people. Why? Because they can connect with your story, right? And they can relate to where you came from. They can see where you're at. I have a lot of people now, they've seen my growth, so they know when I'm sharing my story, like, they know it's true and they can relate to it, because not only have they seen it, but it makes sense. You know, most people are not an overnight success. And if they are, there's something behind their story that you didn't really see or know, things of that nature, where it might look like an overnight success, but they probably went through hell to get to where they're at. You know what I mean? So tell your story. Don't. I used to not want to tell my story, but now, hey, it is what it is, you know. So just be comfortable telling your story, because that is what creates your brand, and that's what separates you from the rest of the marketplace, okay? So when you're engaging with your social list, tell your story, and you can do that on weekly conference calls, Google Hangouts, which I'm mad I was going to do Google Hangout today, but ran into some technical issues, which is okay. So what did? I just did a webinar, right? So these are mediums that now you can share your message, share your values, share your story, connecting and engaging with your social audience, your social list that you've built, right? To now do what? Offer them a solution in exchange for money. Now I can guarantee you this. If you follow this model, people will want to exchange their money with you, okay? Because they feel after they've been through this process and it's set up properly, they see the value. They can relate to where you're coming from, and they don't mind giving you money, right? When you spend your money with people, you don't mind giving it to them if you feel that what you're getting in exchange for your money is cool. And this is one thing that I've learned, okay? For you to be able to exchange, we're at the last part here, okay? For you to be able to get exchange for people's money, the value of money is not determined by 100 or 5 or nothing like that. What determines the value of money is between the buyer and the seller in every transaction. I want you to remember that. The value of money is not determined by the economy, the government. If it's a $100 bill, $5 bill, that don't matter. What determines the value is between the buyer and the seller in that transaction, right? So it's all about the value, right? So now you can exchange your opportunities, your products, your systems, tools, services, whatever it is, as long as that consumer feels that the value that they're receiving in exchange for that is worth it, right? I'll just give you a quick story and we'll wrap it up. You know, I used to come online. It's a mindset. You know, you can't make decisions spending from other people's pockets. So if it's not in your pocket, don't try to make a decision or think that someone's going to not spend the money out of their pocket because of the way you're thinking. That used to mess me up for years. I used to sell, I remember I used to sell $25 to like $97 products online when I first came online, because in my mind, I'm like, man, that's all people would buy from me. So I didn't feel I had the value, right, to sell something higher. And what really intrigued me was this. I sold products. I mean, I had my first $1,000 day online following this model, selling a $27 product, okay? A $1,000 day selling a $27 product. How did I do that? Well, I built a list, right? We got people on a webinar. I got about 80 people on that call, and about 30 of them, I can't remember the exact number, but you kind of do the math. I think it was about 30, 35 people bought my $27 product, okay? And I made $1,000 bucks. Now, that's cool. But what I did see is I had this one guy who was on all my webinars, and he never bought anything. I'm like, why does he keep coming to my stuff? Like, why does he never buy nothing, right? And what it came to find out was it wasn't until I actually increased my value and I sold something, I think it was like $297. I had 3 people buy that day, and he was one of the people who bought. I'm like, that's weird. He never bought none of my other stuff, but he bought this $297 piece. Like, what is that? And it was brought to my attention by my mentor that some people are on certain levels. Some people want the exclusivity. They want the high value stuff. So everything I was offering between 27 and 97, in his mind, he's like, that ain't good, right? And there might be someone on the phone, like, you might be like that. You like the high-end stuff, right? So he felt that it was good stuff that I had brought value on the call, but he was like, nah, that product is too cheap for me. Like, I thought that was weird. So when I offered something at $297, he felt that the value was there, and what I was offering exceeded that $297 of value, so that's why he bought it. So I guess I'm sharing that with you, that value is determined between the buyer and the seller. If the buyer feels that the value you're bringing to them for your product, your service, or your opportunity, they will buy no matter what price point that it's at. I don't care if it's $27 up to $27,000. People will buy it if they have the money and they feel the value is there, okay? So that's the mind map. Like, in a nutshell, like I said, there is some more in depth on how to put this together and, you know, like how to start creating the content and making these things work. But these are pretty much your basic components to it that will help you be able to grow your business, okay? Hope you're able to see the value in this. What I'll do for you is actually, I'm going to actually record this webinar. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send this webinar out. I'll actually give you access to where you can get this mind map too, absolutely completely for free, just so you can have it and kind of follow it on as a model. I'll give you access to where you can go download it because this is a software. You can go get it. It's absolutely free from Google. It's called Mind Map. You can download it, and that way you can actually pull this up on your computer and just restructure it, you know, with your business or whatnot. And what I want to extend to you, like I said, it's just an offer, okay? And this offer is just for coaching, which and you can find out on my website, where you can go to the Entrepreneurial School of Greatness. Now, and it's a tab here. Just go to ShawnDWallace.com, okay, and click on the Entrepreneurial School of Greatness. Once you do that, it's going to bring you to a page here where I'm offering some coaching, okay? And the reason I put this community together is for 4 reasons, right? Number one was the community, okay? That way you're in a community of like-minded individuals, business and entrepreneurs who have a vision and they're going and they're wanting to accomplish that vision. So that way you're in a community of like-minded people who are wanting to accomplish a certain task in their business, okay? Number two is to have access to the resources, tools, and myself, right? I am a resource because I can share these things with you to help you fill in the blanks in your business to help you get more understanding on how to implement what I'm sharing with you here today. So number two is the resources. Number three is to help you have an accountability partner, okay? It's super important not just to get access to this stuff, but someone who can actually hold you accountable for the things that you're learning so that way you're not having information overload, and when you learn something, you're actually implementing it. One of the things I've learned is you want to learn something, implement it, and teach it, okay? Especially in the niche that I'm in, you want to learn something, implement it, and teach it, and one of the best ways to do that is having an accountability partner, and you'll find that within the Entrepreneurial School of Greatness community. And fourth but not least, like I said before, and I don't care what business that you're in, if you're not generating leads, you're out of business, right? So the last one is exposure. We want to help you be able to get exposure for your business and exposure for your ideas and the things that you're bringing to the marketplace, so that way you can have the complete package to help you be able to grow your business and take it to the next level. So I hope that this gives you some value, right? And you're able to take this and be able to maybe apply it within your business. If you give me, I should have this done. I'll have it within the next 24 to 48 hours to go to. You got to render it and upload it and all that good stuff. So I'll get this video out so that way if you're on my list, I will send you a copy of this along with a link on how to get access to the mind map. But I also want to offer you, like I said, this extended offer for some coaching. So what you want to do is go to my site, ShawnDWallace.com, click on the Entrepreneurial School of Greatness, come down here and hit apply. It's actually free. I'm offering this for free. It's a 30-minute session where we'll sit down and just look to see exactly where you are within your business. And just, you know, behind that, I'll give you the opportunity, if you like, well, yes, we can move forward and more in depth. I will help you to implement what we go over in that coaching session. But the coaching session is absolutely free, just for me wanting to serve you and give back to you to help you learn on how to implement what I actually share with you here today. So I hope you enjoyed this call. We're at the top of the hour, and I just look forward to being able to help you reach the success that you are meant to have. If you have any questions, just reach out to me on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. I'm sure you find me, but that's Shawn Wallace. And just type me in. I kind of showed you my face here, so just find that pretty picture there, this brand or whatnot, the guy hanging out with the white tie. And just send me a message. We can connect. I look forward to being able to help you grow your business today. So with that being said, thank you for coming out. I look forward to seeing you on the next call or next video or next blog post or next webinar, or most importantly in the coaching session. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the time with us today, and you have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.